India was economically fragmented. The new India will create one tax, one market, and for one nation. India will awake to limitless possibilities. It marks the beginning of a new journey for India. So said former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, heralding the start of the GST era. A very good morning to everyone present here. Respected Pro Vice Chancellor Professor T.R. Subbareddy, our Dean Professor Dr. T.R. Subramanya, our Director Vijay Praneshwaran, all faculty members of CMR University School of Legal Studies, and my beloved friends. I, Akarshna Datta, a student of BA LLB 9th semester, on behalf of CMR University School of Legal Studies, welcome you all to an engaging session based on the theme GST in India and its impact on national economy. We are honored to have you with us today, a dedicated public servant and an expert in GST law, Mr. M.G. Kodandaram, IRS Assistant Director, retired. To begin on an auspicious note with an invocation ceremony, I would like to invite Dharini, a student of LLB 3rd semester, to sing a song as a mark of respect and gratitude. Thank you for that wonderful song, Dharani. So now I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. Mr. M.G. Kodandaram is an alumni of NLSIU, having studied IPR law, cyber law, and cyber forensics. He worked as an executive in the Central Board of Indirect Taxes, CBIC, since 1981 and has served as Air Intelligence Officer at Sahara International Airport, a faculty at National Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes and Narcotics, and a master trainer for CBIC. Sir has trained thousands of officers on taxation and related laws. Mr. Kodandaram has published over 150 articles in various leading journals and magazines and is the author of 4 books, including GST at a Glance, Concept, Law and Procedure. A member of the State GST Committee, Federation of Karnataka Chambers of Commerce and Industry, he is also the recipient of the Sarman Award from CBIC. With his vast experience and bird's eye view of the situation, Sir is the best person to guide us in understanding the intricacies of this reform. He will discuss the importance of GST, the challenges in its implementation, and the impact it has and will continue to have for our nation. It is indeed an honor to have you, sir. I would like Sneha to give a bouquet to our guest speaker. Sir, I welcome you once again to share your valuable insights. We are sure that this will be a very good learning experience for all of us. Thank you.
Good morning once again to all of you. I am really happy to be in CMR Institute, that was before my mentor. I am very proud to be here to be for the first time speaking on GST. I have come here plenty of times on IPR, though I was not an IPR expert to that extent. But GST is my bread and butter, because for the last 15 years we have been working on the law, procedure, day in, till it is implemented. Before implementation, I remember we traveled all over India. We trained more than 60,000 officers and even more number of industries before getting into the field of GST. Sir, why so much of struggle was required? When we look into the global trade, we have to remove the barriers in the global trade so that to ease the business, a lot of measures were being taken from 1940 onwards. Our sir has been in charge of so many such UN ventures, including GATT classification, evaluation, you name it. He is an expert in that. So we have removed all those barriers as far as international trade is concerned. But when you look into the India as a country, we are one country, we are one economic union, and we failed to remove the barriers of the Britishers. They had divided us into fragmented one. Of independence we came together, no doubt, but we never get ourselves into a common economy, removing the barrier for the trade. We should have created one market then itself. But unfortunately, after many, many years also, we did not take the lessons seriously. Only after the empowering committee coming together on the back, they realized the strength of the free movement of goods and services across India without less tariff and non-tariff barriers will ease and improve the economy of India. Otherwise, economy in India is going to suffer. But it is a very huge ask. We looked into the international practices of GST. Nothing is suitable to India, because India is a unique organism in itself, unlike others. We are so heterogeneous, but still we are uniform in our culture and approach. Therefore, no other model could come. We have to evolve our own model, number one. Secondly, we cannot wait for a perfect model to be in place to start with. We have to start somewhere, and we have to learn our lessons very, very seriously and with some pain and pleasure, both together. And therefore, the empowering committee and later on, the committee is headed by our Arun Jaitley, who is a very great financial wizard, I can say, because I worked very closely with him for a couple of years. So there, we are able to look India into a new vision of economy. If we can bring a uniform rate and uniform procedure for all items that are traded and given services, we can improve the lives of the people, we can improve the life of the traders, we can make the government also improve itself. Today, we are here at the end of the 6th year almost, and we will try to test the waters whether we have achieved what is required or what is objected is. With that purpose, when this subject was selected, I was really extremely happy, sir, because it gave me to look into the various aspects. I think I may come out with my one more paper with you on this itself. Because it's such a wonderful experience. When you look at the facts, you cannot imagine. I don't say only GST has contributed, but GST has also added. What are the economic indicators you should study? I have not studied here purposefully. I have left it to you. One is, what was the share market rate then and today? That we talked about. What was the GDP rate then and today? What is the investment, foreign direct investment then and today? Some measures like this you try to do. And I want you to do that study month-wise because we were hit by COVID pandemic. Despite that, we have recovered very fast and furiously. Today, my GDP is 7.1. But for the COVID, I would have gone up to beyond to double digits. And that could be achieved because of the transparency achieved with the GST, because of the formative form of business, finances that came into. That has played a very vital. I do not demean others, the technological developments we have in the financial, especially on the fintech wing. And digital payments, they have added. Similarly, so many reforms together. We are moving India towards the post to reckon. You have seen our Prime Minister saying that we are becoming now fifth. We are going to become third. You need not feel we may become even the top. Within that time, if all youngsters like to be one with the uniform approach. That's what we want. Don't get divided. People are here to divide us, but we should remain united so that we will take the Indian flag very high. With this, let me move across. It may be a long introduction. Friends, now I am talking about one tax, one nation. GST in India, its impact on national economy. National economy, I have given some parameters. Whether it is improved or not, you find out the statistics. But for me, whether opportunities for the consumers have come, whether the consumers are able to get the price in a rationally better way, whether there is a financial movement across the Indian common man, that's the main criteria. Through GST, how GST has impacted each parameter, I will try to analyze and do it. Any doubts, any time you can ask me, I am with you. Don't have to have any hesitation. I am presenting it with GST a brief overview, right? So that you will get grip on the GST aspects. Then benefits, process progress, where the various processes we are giving to the trade, how it is progressing, how it is helping to establish a very good GST. That impact on economy, I leave it most of the things to you after giving certain views. You have to do the work, right? What is GST? You have heard of VAT, sale of goods. You have heard of service tax, provision of service. You have heard of excise duty, goods manufactured. Means we had different events to tax on the commodities, on the services, from the center and the state. There, what is to happen is, there was no uniform approach. For example, if I am in Karnataka, if I manufacture in Bengaluru and Mangaluru and another place in Karnataka, Mysuru, I have 3 factories. I have to take 3 registrations from central excise. I have to follow 3 procedures for them. I have to give returns to them. I have to move around. To sell those goods, to service my products, let me say 10 centers in Karnataka I need to register all 10 centers from VAT as well as central excise. Similarly, when I have to sell, I have to pay sales tax, I have to register all these establishments as well. Means for 13 centers, I may require 13 into 2, 26 licenses, registrations, formats, and rates. If I want to sell in another state, the rates would differ. A product costs 10% here, it may cost 20% in another state. How do I move? I do not know how to cost my product. Whether I get my profit or not, I am not sure. Because different states tax differently. There are states who taxed purchase taxes, especially Punjab and all those places. That apart, every state has its own control. The trucks will stand in hours together on the check post. It has to be passed. What was passed, we do not know because nobody could check. The volume of documents was so much, it was simply thrown out and it has become a corruption center. Nothing more than that. Then from one state to another, you will have CST, Central Sales Tax. In addition to, you have to pay GST or concerned state taxes also. So much of confusion. In this confusion, who made money? Fraudsters made the money. Dishonest people made the money. Let it be a trader or a consumer, whomsoever. Consumer thinking if he is paying tax properly, it will never reach the coffers of the nation. If the trader, I can tell this, I may give you a bogus bill, you can pay it. In another state, while moving, I can show less number. In that state, there may be somebody who will be favorable to me. All this was happening. Secondly, tax was also an arbitrage. There was also a tax on tax, cascading effect. Thereby, it was creating a barrier for me to do business in my country. I have to look into 31 laws, 31 procedures, 31 different states, taxes, and I have to comply with each state 10 to 12 places if I have to go around. I have to have people only attending to that rather than my business. Now, we brought all these taxable events into one line, calling it the supply. What is supply? If you sell, it is also a supply. If you transfer, it is also a supply. If you barter, that's also a supply. If you give somebody without consideration, that is also a supply. Means, whatever activity, business activity you do, it is called as supply. Sir, whether it is goods or services, whether it is goods or services or both, I am not bothered. Means we brought in a common factor, except alcohol. So, the taxable event in GST is putting together all these business transactions into one word, and that one word is supply. With this, we are able to come together. Why I am telling goods, services are both? Sir, you can identify what is goods. You can identify what is services. What is the big deal in that? I will give you small facts. You analyze it. You are all having mobile phones. You are all having SIM card inside this. SIM card, if it is goods, VAT is payable. SIM card, if it is a service tax is payable, and both of them are exclusive. Means, if you levy excise duty as goods or service tax as services, you need not pay VAT. So both of them are exclusive. Now you tell me, it should be goods or service. Goods, isn't it? How many of you say goods? SIM card is a goods. How many of you say it is a service? We don't know, sir, both. This is not a joke, this really happened. That's why this phone inspired me to tell that story. All the states said, sir, it is goods, you have to pay VAT. They collected VAT on all those business people who are doing transactions of VAT, communication. Central government said, no, it is a service, you are giving service, you have to pay service tax. The business people said, sir, whether it is goods or service, you both of you decide, I have to pay either service tax or VAT. One tax you take, but then we will not listen. We will fight. Now, the entire thing went to court. Now, the party is paying both VAT and service tax. Who is paying it? Who is bearing this money? Consumer. You have to pay only one tax, but you are paying two different taxes. Which are, one of them is illegal. We don't know which is illegal. Which is not beyond, which is beyond the scope of the law. Now the problem is, courts are also managed by government. State governments are also spending public money. Central government is also public money. Court is also public money. The public money is being wasted to fight. After 8 or 9 years, it goes to Supreme Court. Supreme Court, in all wisdom, it says you should look into the predomination of that work. It is predominantly used for services. Nobody buys the SIM card because it looks good. It is not that. It is only service tax. Did we get our reference of that? This is what's going to happen. Why should we allow the people who legislate to fight whether it is goods or services? In what way consumer is worried? You should say, sir, you would say either goods or services, you collect one tax, I will pay. So therefore, those words have come. Are you able to get it? Like this, plenty of fights are there. Only one simple example I have done. When this was brought, it was really a monumental work because India is such a huge country. A huge population is there, huge practices are there. It is simply impossible to have uniformity. Hundreds of meetings were conducted, and later on, we said we will jump. It is similar to a boy not getting married. They say, why? Say, he's a mad fellow. I say, nobody will marry him. No, you marry him, she will set her right. No, I got to get married first. After this, that's a trick one. That's what has happened. After 10 years, 12 years deliberation, you still do not know when to jump in. It's a perfect program must be available. First of all, digital analysis should be there. Digital utilities must be there. Everything should be there. How do you come to an ideal situation when you are alone? Your dress is alone. So the tailor should take trials, 3-4 trials, then only you will set your suit. So to start, we said no, we will start it. 10 years is too high, and therefore we started. No matter how far away an object is, no matter how difficult it is to accomplish, no matter how to reach it, it can also be achieved by penance and hard work. The process of India's economic revolution explained by this sentence of Chanakya. This is what, not only for GST, everything in your life also, keep them as the motto of your life. Then we took one nation, one tax, and one procedure, one type of registration. If I have to take 30 registrations in Karnataka, can I take only one? That was the idea. Now you can take only one registration. You may be a manufacturer, you may be a dealer, you may be a service provider, you may be doing any type of transaction. You have to take how many registrations? How many returns you have to file? One set of returns. We are making it even returns. We want to make returns and duty. Come on, this is your return. Fine. To that extent, we are moving now in our digital. How? I will explain you one by one. Then we want from Ganganagar to Itanagar, later Lakshadweep. Earlier we used to say Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Now we have changed our words. So I have also made it because we should know all our boundaries. 500 different types of taxes were there. Poncho. And all of them were useless work because putting a manpower, fighting it, litigating it, whose money it is? Public money है. आपका पैसा है. वो registered person will not pay from his pocket. Businessman will not pay from his pocket. He will take it from you. But the tax is too much, you will not buy. At that time, he will lose his profit. This is how you should be very, very careful. GST is 6 years. It is the resolution of economic integration into an economy. Now, only one registration you will do. Rate of duty, wherever you go, rate of duty for the commodity or service is the same. No question of being used as an arbitrage. Arbitrage means, I will explain. Earlier, there was no levy of taxes in Pondicherry on vehicles. So people from Karnataka will go to Pondicherry and buy a vehicle because it will be cheaper. They will say, no, from Pondicherry we are going to supply you tax free so much. So that was used as a way to business. That should not be. It should not be an arbitrage. So we wanted a uniform system there also. So are you able to word that? Then cascading effect is another term which will create problem. When I paid my GST, I am clear In another state, I will not get the credit of it. If I pay seriously and clear, then it becomes cost to me again. I have to pay that state's tax. There is a tax on tax and tax. Similarly, excise duty I pay in this state. In another state, I have to take credit if I am a manufacturer. If I am a dealer, I will not. Because central excise duty was an originating tax. So all the tax systems have to be complied on this one principle, supply of goods or services or both, and it should be consumption based. Where consumption takes place, that state should get. Another important concept in GST is, earlier, if somebody sells goods from here to Bihar, Bihar is a thickly populated people. They pay taxes and buy, but all the taxes will come to Karnataka or Maharashtra, developed states. The people there were suffering because they were not getting any revenue more. The revenue was earned in the originating state. Now in GST, the goods move along with the taxes also move to that state. If the people buy more taxes get accrued to that state, and that state will be forced to reckon. You see the developments that are happening in UP now. UP's contribution to Indian economics was almost nothing earlier. Today, they are forced to reckon. There was very good IRS officer, Mr. Raju. We went after retirement, they are engaging. He has changed the whole scenario of UP. They are far advanced in their infrastructure and other developments. They have already contributed more than some of the north states. So that's how you have to drive the required investment, and this consumption-based tax will be the required rate. So that's the advantage. Ek Bharat, Shreshth Bharat. GST should stand for good and simple tax. Well said and done, but still we have not achieved. Let me be very truthful. We are moving towards this. We are inching towards that. We have a lot of obstacles still to do. But as of today, my GSTN figures I showed you used to have too many problems catching up. A lot of people say, sir, nahi ja raha hai, sir, return nahi aata hai, sir, glitches. Today, it has become almost great. And it is one of the best machines operating such huge volume of transactions of so many crores of people's business without any worry it is taking that. Today, there is hardly any complaint. To that level, our technology has improved. And you will not get such a business machine in the whole of the world. It is not possible. You look into the banking system we have. It is the biggest one. You look into the global business, ICE gate, customs. It is the biggest. So also, the GST network, the biggest. Nobody can compete with us as far as the size and manageability of digital aspects are concerned. So be proud. We are the first people have the opportunity to do such high volumes of transactions in digital arena without much worry. This was the situation. I think now if you look in, the earlier situation is clear. This picture I put it to you is on two counts. One is the direct tax. Each one of us will pay directly to the treasury. Absolutely no problem. But in case of indirect tax, we are paying goods and service tax through these people. The levy is on these guys. They will collect and send it to the treasury. If you have multitude of practices here, multitude of laws are there, fraudsters will enjoy and honest people will suffer. They are not paying back their own taxes. They are taking taxes from the citizen. There was a huge leakage here, huge leakage. That so many people are in that business. We call them as intermediaries. Today we have brought them on one platform, GST. Any doubts in this picture? Please ask. Now, what we aimed at, I am going to tell you. Whether we have achieved or not, we will examine. We wanted a simplified tax structure. Yes, today as on today, legal structure is very simplified, digital structure is very simplified, but we need to reach our return system. How we are going about, I will let you know. We have brought electronic invoices, where if you are clearing goods, you raise an e-invoice and e-way bill. We will give you your return. You don't have to file a return. We'll say this is your return and you file it, pay this much money tax. That kind of thing you have. Sir, yes, issued an invoice, yes, cancel that invoice. No question of it. We are going to digitally mark it. And once you raise an invoice, it will be sent to your customer, it will be sent to your bank, everywhere. And if you give that QR code, they can take the invoice, genuine, 100%. Nobody can doubt. So different people, different invoices is totally correct. That number is authenticated by GST. How? That is a separate technological talk. Some other time I will take a session on period bill and e-invoice, which is a new reform where we have cut down fraud to the maximum extent by using digital technology. Then, elimination of cascading effect. I don't have to tell. Today, if he is in Karnataka, if he sells to a person in Bengal, the credit also goes to Bengal. Who is not able to understand this supply chain method? Please be frank, I will try to explain to you. One, you come. Who else? Be truthful, man. Don't be worried about bombastic words. You need to learn what it is. That's what I expect you. Both of you come here. Sir, how long I can do that? I don't know. Let us say he is a supplier. He is in Karnataka. He is a recipient who buys goods from him. He raises an invoice on him. He makes payment. When he makes the invoice, he charges GST. The GST is paid by him to him. Isn't it? He is in, let us say, Tamil Nadu. Was he in Tamil Nadu? I forgot what I said. From Tamil Nadu to, let us say, UP, he is UP man. When he clears, whatever credit he has paid for him, we are going to give him as input tax credit. He can, for example, if he charges 10,000 from the product, if 1,000 is the GST, 1,000 from him he will collect and pay it to me. I am the government of India. So I will get 1,000 rupees. This 1,000 rupees I will give as a credit to him in his credit ledger. When he sells the same goods for 15,000, he has to collect 1,500. He will deduct this 1,000 and give me 500 rupees. So on 15,000, 1,500 I am collecting. In his UP, when he sells his goods, he has to pay CGST, SGST. Let me say 20,000 he has sold, 2,000 is the tax. He can take back this 1,500, give 500. Means this is called input tax credit, and it is moving from state to state seamlessly without any barrier. Here is the origin state, that's the consumption state. Goods have moved, services have moved, so also the taxes. Wherever consumption takes place, these people are happy because more number of people are using services and they are getting their revenues paid for their development. Is that clear to you now? So, we were earlier what was happening? If you pay sales tax, money will be here only in this state. It will not go to that state. In that state, he has to charge again. Tax on tax. Cascading. That has been avoided. Is the concept clear to all of you? Thank you. Now we got the claim. Still doubt is there? Now, elimination of cascading effect happened because there is a seamless input tax credit value. By giving seamless input tax credit, I am making the supplier accountable. And if that fellow doesn't account, I can catch it. And if he doesn't account, I can catch it from him. Means anybody in the supply chain, if they have an invoice, I can catch the source. Thereby, everybody started doing white business. Earlier, informal business was too much. Parallel economy was nearly 3/4 of Indian economy is parallel economy. Even today, 1/3 is still there, especially in the real estate and other forms. So this is how we are able to bring this. When you bring accountability into the system, economics will improve, GDP will improve, your purchasing powers are shown real time. Earlier you had the power. Now you are not showing it. Now you are able to show. And by getting more taxes to the country, your country becomes very strong. Is it so or not? By getting more taxes, you are more wealthier. Is it so or not? Be truthful, man. Come on. Kautilya, he says, without kosha, there is no desha. The army works on the treasury. If you want to have country coming together, it's only of commerce. Once you have the commerce, once you have the economy, when you have the strength of the money, then only power comes to you, otherwise not. Each one of you may be filthy rich, crorepati. If there is no money in the treasury, in the common public fund of India, you will all collapse. You see our neighbors, man. Not that they are poor. They have looted their own country, kept their own finances personally, but the common goal has been defeated. Today they are not. They are pauper nations, but they are not paupers. They are not able to control their economy. They can't control their inflation. They cannot control their crime rate. They cannot control anything. But in my country, I am able to do best, better than any other country. Today, India is giving 7.1 in the GDP. Where is other countries? You cannot say they are hypocrite. You are also hypocrite. You are worst COVID possible. So, what was kind enough? Now, today I am able to come back because of the public finance. Do you think GST has helped us? My MSMEs have started using more than what they were during the COVID period. We lost a lot of people in the MSME. Today they have become new force to reckon with because of GST. It has given a new life to that. No more and more GST. Small MSMEs come from. You see the startups that have come. There is a revolution of startups in India. Entrepreneurs like you, first generation people. They have been given money, even if they lose, doesn't matter. Don't have to return, come on, start your own business. So instead of working for somebody, you started giving work for others. That's the change we wanted to see. It's not only in GST, you should see the change in IPR, in every aspect of our life. Now we are coming to Indian Penal Code also. We want to have our own crime code. We don't want to buy that borrowed code. Yesterday has been introduced in the Lok Sabha. So you will have our own Bharatiya Samhita. Samhita is coming back. Now, supply chain efficiency will improve. Earlier, if I have to send a truckload of goods from Hosur, you will say, sir, 1 day is gone, sir. अरे यार जाने के लिए 2 घंटा लगता है 2 hours may take. What do you want for it? Sir, I will take, load it here. I will go to the check post, Manipala check post. There will take 1 hour. Then I will go to that Hosur check post. They will take 1 hour. There is that Tamil Nadu check post. They will take 1 hour. Then there is a forest check post. They will take another 1 hour. 5-6 hours is lost, sir. And by the time I reach it will be evening, I cannot download. That fellow might have closed his office, go to next day morning and have to download. Who has suffered here? It is not merely the logistic fellow. It is whom we are paying heavy money. If it can go for 2 hours, we could have done minimum 4 trips. We could have done earning more money. We would have charged less money for traveling, and for that, who would be the beneficiary? Sir, whether it has happened in GST, now there is no check post anywhere. Goods can go within 2 hours to Hosuru. In fact, when we started our GST, sir, there was a shortage of 20% trucks in India. They gave us a report. We will not be able to manage. If you bring GST, we are in trouble. After 6 months of GST, they are saying we are having spare services of 40%. Because they are able to earn more with the same investment, with the same amount of trucks. My truck, which was going for only 1 trip to Hosuru, is going for 4 trips per day. What else I could buy? So there, supply chain efficiency has brought a kind of ease of doing business. There is no barrier. I can travel to any place. As a businessman, I don't have Godon, but I am sure from here to Bombay, 24 hours I can give delivery to my consumer. So I will not have a Godon there. I will send it directly from here, take a delivery there. This is how business started becoming booming. Then you have government revenue. What is the GST revenue? Google it, will find out. Is it going up and up and up? You will see the magic figure of 2 coming this year. I will show you that. Without increasing the taxes. We have reduced the taxes. Sir, you are telling a lie. People do tell me. I tell them, when we analyzed NRR rates, what is NRR rate? Don't worry about that. It was found The taxes in India were averaged at 33%. So the government said, Retd sir also said, 28% we will reduce there itself. And in 28% bracket, we had more than 450 items. People were annoyed. अरे यार हम 12% पे करते थे अभी 28%. They were not knowing excise duty was hidden there. We did not want to hide. We wanted to tell them 14 years state, 14 center, GST want to pay. Today you go and see the list. There is hardly 28 items. Where this 450 became 25 after rationalization. We came to know we don't have to charge so much tax. So we put them in the brackets of 18%, 12%, 5%, nil. This is how India realigned itself. Now another rationalization is going to come in another 1 year, where we are going to further reduce. So how this reduction could happen? It is simple. If there is a village chariot, if 10 people pull that chariot, is it possible? If 20 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 1,000 people is just little. You can simply take it around without any struggle because more participation. Now GST is making the tax base huge. There are more contributors today. Therefore, it should come down. So direct tax, whether it will have an impact, economic, whether it will have impact. Earlier, the guys were showing 1 crore, 2 crore turnover. Now they have to show whatever the real things are there. They are forced to show. Naturally, income tax will increase. Our economy will be more controlled. There will be contributions from direct tax as well as indirect tax. So whether both the taxes are necessary, if time permits, we will take that discussion later. Let me not venture it. Now what is happening in this? Economic growth. Certainly yes. You have reduction in tax evasion. Tax evasion cases have come down. Now improvement in business, competitiveness, savings in logistic costs. I don't have to explain again logistic stocks. How it was, people are very happy. Goods can move. He can make an eBay bill, he can move. He doesn't have to bother. Nobody should stop. Then you don't have formalization of the economy happening. Now more and more legally they are coming. Even a coconut vendor, when I wanted to give a change, he said, sir, you are putting happy, sir. He will not buy. Just 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we used to struggle for change. Today, Google Pay, one second gone. And then you have brought forward that money, which was in the black business, has come to ban. Not that you will pay more tax, don't be under that impression. If you bring it to the formal level, your GDP will increase. What is the amount of purchases you have made will be reflected and that will indicate the production capacity of the country world over, how we are growing. That is the real theme of it. Then inflation control, we are able to control. Then after the COVID, they went up double digit, triple digit in some states. We are able to control. So also the investment and FDI. I told you do that experiment. We have GDI, we are moving on. So GST not only benefited the exchequer, but also gave boost to the development of the country. Would you agree with me? Anybody differ? You see the number of people with us now. A new era of economic prosperity through an economic revolution we have brought. I'll go further details. What we did, I have explained here. Elimination of multiplicity and cascading of taxes. I don't have to explain. I told you 500 laws were there, 500 procedures were there. All of them I have brought under one roof. Now, overall reduction in tax incidence, compliance simplification. In another 6 months, I am going to give you your return. Hey, madam, this is your return. Check up any differences are there, calculate and pay the rest of the tax immediately. Don't go on preparing this. To that level I have brought. Single return, minimal physical interface. Sir, I have to take a registration. Which office I should go? Which office you will go, man? You will go to commercial tax or GST office? Don't go anywhere. You online file. You will be verified. Aadhaar verification, e-signature, that is the modus. And you don't have to move to any office. Sir, where do I take my e-way bill? Don't go to online. E-invoice, online. Sir, I have to make payment online. Sir, I have to file my return. Which office I should file? If you go to any office, they will not accept your return. You have to file online. Correspondence online. All litigations online. You do not have to go. You should not have any interface. If you cannot understand it, you may go and ask the officer in the help center. Sir, you can set an answer. How do I do? Maximum. Or if you have a GST practitioner or a chartered accountant or a cost accountant or anybody who knows the knowledge of it, you can get it. This is how we have digitally gone, fully IT driven system, faster refunds, free flow of goods, check post totally removed. The only sequence is this. If you move goods within the state, pay GST, CGST. If it is beyond the state, pay IGST. The concept of CGST, SGST, IGST is known to you. You want any explanation on that? Some gentleman when we introduced in GST, they said, "Sir, आप लोग खतरनाक हो गए सर, बहुत झूठ बोलते हैं." तो बोले क्या झूठ है? Sir, CGST go to central board. SGST goes to. What is this IGST? New levy you have imposed on us. You have trusted this. Is it true or not? If you look in, IGST is only making it convenient for the smooth movement of input tax credit. It's trying to bring India into one market, integrated GST tax. Money will not go to central government, it will not go to state government, it will be in the transit account. Whenever it is consumed, goods are consumed, services are consumed, to that state, automatically it is channelized. It is not a new levy, it is a method used to bring India into one market. Mera kapda all torn. Now I am stitching it using IGST. समझ में आ रहा है ना? All of you are able to get it? I am going to stitch my own design cloth using this as a way. I am integrating my market. I am integrating my procedures. I am integrating my trade. I am integrating everything, every aspect of my trade into one pot. And that's what IGST has done. In fact, IGST was done with a lot of deliberations because none of the international practices could come. Later on, one of our officers, Gawahar, even today I remember that officer was so brilliant. He said, "Sir, we can have this mechanism. We can catch these fellows also. We can make that. B2B, B2. And see, all that we are able to manage because of this system and this unique research of our Indian price that have brought IGST. And it is not a new levy. When I convinced that citizen, he was very happy. Sir, ऐसा है सर, हाँ ऐसा ही है. पहले नहीं तो cascading effect था, credit नहीं मिलता था, लोग get into trouble. Now I have removed that barrier. Now what is GST? Some people ask me. Sir, you are talking so much, sir. Tell me, explain me in one sentence what is GST. I have attempted, I may fail. Here's my master to say yes or no. GST is a trust-based between the citizen and the government. What is taxes all about? Tax is something you are sharing, you are burden, you are earning as a gift. But it is not a voluntary payment. It's compulsive payment under the law, stipulated in the law. Article 265 says no tax can be collected without the authority of law. And therefore, we are having the authority of 246A GST where we are collecting the tax. And it is your duty as a citizen to pay for your administration. Otherwise, how do you run the state? State is not run by your pocket. It is run by the common pocket, the public fund of India. And therefore, tax payment is a very, very benevolent act. Sir, why you can't call it as voluntary? If it is voluntary, nobody will pay. Only when it is compared to law, you will pay. And therefore, it's a great work. That's trust. There must be a trust. It's my country I am paying. If the British era, they were not like paying it. We were reluctant to pay because when I pay, it goes to her Majesty's service. It is never used by me. Now today, my funds are used by me. To run my country, I am paying. And when I pay, if it goes to the government exchequer, and later on it is used in a transparent manner for my use, I will be very happy. We need to attain. Collection, more or less we are reaching, but expenditure, we are losing. They are becoming a pawn in the games people play, politicians play. Don't do this. It's your money, yeah? Why it should be based on something which is not productive? That's the thought to come to our youngsters. Then you see, digital driven. No question of accepting any paper. Don't bring any traditional paper. Integrated. One registration is enough. One PAN, one state, one registration. If you have another state, another one, you have to take that. Because I have to move your credit to that state. So one PAN, one state, one registration, different state you need to take. Then comprehensive. Whether it is goods or services, there is a schedule, read it, pay the tax. Then destination based consumption tax. Levied simultaneously by state and center. वो state A procedure है, center का एक procedure है. ऐसा तकलीफ नहीं है. No, there is no problem about it. It's a uniform method. You have single taxable event, seamless input tax credit, voluntary compliance. The benefits you might have read in the classroom. I will skip it for a moment. Now, registration trend. It is increasing. You see these lights. This is migrator. Earlier we had only this many people will come, but today it has almost tripled. When we started GST, we thought 60 lakh people will register. We had huge 1 crore plus people registering. We were stunned, we were struck. For nearly 15 days, 1 month, we could not provide them this class. To that extent, people were honest and they were ready to register. We expected 60 lakh people were registered, 1 crore plus people came. We were really troubled. We were worried due to simplification. Tax on consumption instead of production happened. So wherever consumption, that state also will progress. Then tax refund through input the credit system brought transparency in the whole supply chain. Nobody wants to without bill. No, I don't want without bill because it will become a cost to me. मेरा पैसा ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. If I get credit, it will be less. Otherwise, I have to collect that money also from the public. And again, if I raise a invoice, I will get caught. So I don't want that problem at all. That's how, due to simplification and low rates, the number of taxpayers has increased significantly, and the numbers speak for them. You see the numbers? Normal taxpayers, composition dealers. What is this composition deal? We wanted small fellows not to suffer. Till his turnover crosses 1.5 crores, we did not want him to register. We told him, once you cross 40 lakhs, you take registration, pay composition, pay a percent of 2% tax, whatever product you sell. Doesn't matter, pay 2% tax. So the small thing. Up to 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs, goods 40 lakhs, services 20 lakhs. Don't take registration. Sir, I am selling goods on the road, whether I have to take registration? The answer is simple, no. If you cross 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs, then only you have to take registration. There also you can go for a composition levy. You don't have to pay 28%, you can pay 2%. Still make your business. Is it clear to you? Then, input service distributors. I am a head office, I have taken all the credits, can I distribute to all my groups? Yes, you can do it anyway. Don't have to waste the money. This is credit available. Similarly, tax deductions, TCS, all that brought more transparency. So, इच्छा, स्थिरता, संकल्प आया, संकल्प से पुरुषार्थ करके हम सिद्धि ली. That's what we have done. We are able to achieve because of benevolent, educated citizens of India who cooperated with us. All we say they are uneducated, they are more educated. My next book's name is Moving Towards Citizen-Centric GST. Okay. Now, e-way bill. You see the number of e-way bills. No country can think of it. What is e-way bill? If he has to move goods from this place to this place, earlier we will go to office, sir, form sir, we will build that form, we will fill up, and from here, it is in another state, in 2-3 check posts will move. Now nothing doing. He will simply rise one e-way bill. I am moving with him. He is transporting the goods. He will go to transport to his truck number, and goods will move automatically. Automated. Sir, how do you check? We can check any one of them anytime. There is no check post. But on the road, I can stop him and ask him, come on, give me your e-way. It's an electronic system where a number is generated. Once he says what goods from which place I am taking, and that will simultaneously communicate to everyone to it. There is no need of web services, even on SMS you can do. Any communication you can use. And it becomes a transparent information to all people. And if he shows this, the officer will have added this and he will check. Sir, whether road trucks they can do again exploit? No, it is not. The answer is these trucks, nearly 90% of the trucks in India, 99%, I'm sorry, they are all having RFID tags now. RFID tag server is attached to GST e-way bill server. Sitting in my office, I will be watching which truck has gone, whether it has an e-way bill. Same e-way bill they are using it, or different e-way bills there. In that e-way bill, what is there? Everything at a press of a button, I will be watching. I will keep a track of certain people who are all fraudsters. I will tell my team, come on, go and attack them. This is how we are able to make the fraudster, identify the fraudster and catch him. Even one bad apple, rotten apple, can spoil the whole bag. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಕೆಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನು ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು ಕೇಳಾದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. That's how we do. So electronic e-way is clear. Then you have e-invoice. We tell them whatever your data is there, you give it machine readable form. We will give you QR code which could be read in any machine. Once he is supplying to him, he raises a e-invoice. Copy will be given to him. This e-way bill, I will make it and give it to him automatically. You can say make a e-way bill. Then he will write it. But we don't have to go on entering it. Even to bank, she has given loan. Bank also gets the information. And the invoice is denied. Because it is authenticated by GST network. So there is no question of any flimsy work for you. She can finance it very properly. And now, e-way bill. And all this, at the end of the year, every month we say before 10, you give invoices, movement of your thing, GST or one your thing. Now we are doing it in the real time. You are giving the GST invoice, immediately this return I am going to populate. I will know what it says. He has purchased so many people through invoice, that information in input tax credit act. I say this is your input tax, this is your invoice you have raised. Rest, check up, file my return. This is the amount we have. That's how we are moving out towards a situation where we don't expect you to file anything except you make a e-invoice. You make a e-way. E-way bill will authenticate your movement of goods. E-invoice will authenticate your financial transactions. Both of them are available with me. Of all suppliers, I will make the list to the recipient also. Your credit system also is automated. Even today it is automated. There is no question of somebody entering something. Whatever system says that itself gets populated. It's called GST or 2B and 2A. From that, I will start giving you the return GST or 3B, the monthly return, which you don't have. You have to check, pay the differential tax, whatever credit minus cash amount should add. That's how you need to. So towards that, we are moving. E-invoicing essentially involves reporting details of specified GST documents to your government notified portal. E-invoicing has many advantages. One of them is transparency. Business such as standardization, interoperability. Your invoice may not be read by another computer, but we are going to convert it because we want you to make it that kind of file where we give offline. Thereby it could be machine readable by everybody. That itself is a very good procedure. Some other time I will try to talk on e-invoice and e-way, which is very essential, and that has changed the whole scenario of Indian GST. Otherwise, we would have struggled, but for these digital innovations we have. Returns and other forms like e-way bill, reduction in processing costs, reduction in disputes, improvement. Sir, I have taken an e-invoice. That's the authentication. He doesn't have to do anything beyond that. To that level, we are. We look into the collection map. This year we have already achieved in 4 months itself. If we add up this into 3, I will be exceeding this. I will cross 20 plus. I will say I am expecting at 21 plus crores. My country is becoming richer. I am having more money to spend for my citizens' welfare. What is taxes all about? Your roads are made in that. salaries are given, institutions are run, the whole system is done on the public money. How can you no money with the public? You see, this is only GST collection. Then think of customs collection, think of income tax collection. Where you will end up? 20 plus another 20. There, you will be leading the whole world as far as the tax collection is concerned, and more rich you are in the treasury, you can dictate down. That's the power of the money. Your economy will be more strong provided you do not waste this collective. It should be used in such a way you get better returns to the state. That should happen. You see the returns versus ticket fight. You see here complaints. I had huge number of complaints. Today, almost many of you, this PPT I will give it to you, I have already given. Kindly look into each of the data available. You will be worried. Business so many people are doing business. You will get double this within next year. To that level, I can assure you. Look into the technology as a backbone. Today, what is the volume? You see, registered taxable persons, total returns filed, e-way bill, total income invoice, payments. So many. A single GST interface for more than 1 crore taxpayers. We have estimated benefits. Now, moving towards economy, some benefits. GST rate is about 3.9% lower than the NRR rate we fixed. As per NRR rate, I should have that 15.3%. Now I am charging it only at 11.4. I am going to bring it to 8 or 9 in a couple of years. Then you look into new era of economic prosperity. 8 crore business persons in the country benefited directly or indirectly from GST. Initiative of India revolutionized the world economics. GST has reduced the consumer spending and increased the savings. My Jan Dhan Yojana, where people with zero account can have, has huge amount of money to be spent, available as a fund to the government of India. All that money would have been in a black economy. Cheat people would have been cheated. Some money spinner would have said, we will give you more interest than they would have done. You know the IRS scam. You have seen that Guru bank. All that would be stopped because of this. Look into the earlier, there were all that I have explained to you. I will not go into that. In this, then and now, I have given a comparison, and it's for you to see how we have improved our business. I am not going to go into detail because this you can yourself read. But for me, black marketing is reduced. So white economy has increased. Beyond threshold, still poor people we don't want to trouble. Small business people, we give them a threshold exemption. Mandatory to get on the. Earlier the taxpayer only has two options. Either to pay tax at higher rate or evade tax. So he was taking evasion of tax. Now he doesn't. Now income tax and indirect tax. Whereas indirect tax increases, volume base increases, tax compliance increases, transparency assures profits will increase for the country, and also the income tax paid on the profits will improve. Is it clear now? Now, World Bank, what has said? Because we will always do not trust our people. I don't know. People, when we say trust us, we don't trust. You don't trust. I told HCL has 3 years advance order already, and for next 20-25 years they have job on hand. People were not willing. Then I told him, I'll contact you to GM of HCL, can you speak to you? He said, sir, I don't have so much of orders are there, I don't have. But people were saying HCL is going to be closed. Very, very unfortunate situation. HCL is going to be closed in India. HCL will have, now they have started manufacturing. They have a separate center now, another center has gone. And they are expanding their business. My own relatives are working in HCL. I know. Sir, ISRO. Can we talk about ISRO? He must be an incompetent guy to talk about ISRO and their scientists and their military. I have seen them in close corners. We have brought them. The way they look at, especially the present lady team there, they are so passionate in their work, nothing can stop them to become world leaders. So thereby, Swavalamban says Samruddhi Padna. That's important. When I write this 7.1, I want this to become 11 by this year. Reduce tax, related trade barriers removed, barriers to remove here, economical logistic service, all that you are able to understand. Logistic companies 30% increased, removed state imposed barriers, GST council now. Every Tom, Dick and Harry need not take a decision. Council will take a recommendation and it is announced in advance to whole of India. Now, today they have announced that they are going to have 28% on betting tax. All over India, it will be uniform. Today it has been placed, it is going to be placed in Lok Sabha. So you have some uniformity and it will become effective after October. So you have time to adjust your systems. This is how India is moving towards transparency. Then remove state imposed barriers. Then GST become a backbone for MSMEs. There was a fellow telling MSMEs are collapsed. I told him, where is the collapse? You see the figures? Their contribution in GST, there is one more thing for MSME I had used. It was going up there. They have contributed 3 times what they were prior to GST. And we are simply making, they say, sir, we get enough funds to run. In fact, they were given maximum fund during COVID time. They fondly remember. You would have collapsed, they said, government gave us, they are not even collecting it back. Interest, they say, no, we will pay off. Don't worry, don't pay. To that extent, they have kept MSME. MSME is very important. India's exports, 60% exports are from MSME. And employment generation highest. Your corporate sectors will not be. MSME is good. Today, India's vibrant economy is due to MSME. And you see the contribution of MSMEs. It's going higher and higher. So what are the things I need to do further? That should be there in your books, in your slate for your thing. When you get an opportunity, whatever capacity you are, as a businessman, as a citizen, well-informed citizen, you should improve taxpayer services, expand tax base, enhance compliance, improve taxpayer services, registration, return, everything should be much more. Dispute resolution, tribunal is it to be formed. That's another one I have written plenty of questions, this one on that. Increased output, this is the way forward we need to do. We should move towards a common public fund being generated for the welfare of the whole of India, where no other country can touch us to that extent. We have that wealth. We had that wealth. All of them were looted. Now we have to regain our glory. Any questions for you? I have completed my formal talk. Any questions you can ask? I have given you a lot of trouble for a video man. I am helpless. Any doubts? No. Without tax coordination can survive. Same question, I do not know. The same question was asked in the Mount Carmel College. At that time, Rahul Gandhi had visited Mount Carmel. They have scheduled him. The subsequent week I went. That the madam said, Sujata, sir, speak for 30 minutes. There is a huge crowd, sir. 400 girls are there. These girls are very dangerous, sir. They have come so many. The topic was GST, how it's going to contribute to the economy. I said, I will speak for 25-30 minutes and I will ask them. If they ask me to stop, I will stop. Otherwise, you should keep quiet. I said, yes. In that, at the end, I spoke for nearly 2 hours on that day. And there was so much of energy, I was enjoying the whole beautiful arena there. There, one person asked, Dubai. Sir, Dubai, there is no tax. Dubai has started taxing. That's a separate thing. Assuming Dubai doesn't have a tax. I asked you a question. In India, whatever you earn, it comes to your account. In Dubai, whatever earns comes to the contribution. He will give you some chips. In that, there will be tax. In Dubai, you are a slave. In India, you are a citizen. You are the ruler in democracy. You are the ruled. In democracy, we are the kings. We are the servants. We are the rulers. We are the ruled. Here you have the complete economic liberation. Whatever you earn, it's your money. And from that government you have to contribute as a duty. There, every money out of 199 is money, 1 rupee he will give. Why he will take tax from you? You will be treated as a slave. That's the situation. Now they are opening up because their business is going to be in trouble. Now there is a disruptive technology is coming. New fossil fuels may not be viable in the days to come. When that technology comes, they know they have to go back to their caves. There is no other way. So they have started taxing it now. They have started coming out with more other attractions like business, tourism, and all. Have I answered you? Still? And if there is money in your pocket, it cannot run the nation. It will run Gundaism. It will have more unnecessary fights. But in my country is highly these are designers. Now that they are poor, they are filthy rich. They come to this. They are going to ready to stay outside their countries, enjoying crores of people's going with their lives. And their children are not there in that state also. See the way. Have I answered you, brother? What's your name?
Yes, sir.
I'm lucky I got that question here also, sir. Your boys are very thinking, forward thinking, and very proud. If there are no questions, shall I continue? Still you have questions. Any question, man? Come on, let's enjoy. Thank you. May God bless every one of you.
Just listen to two things I just need to bring home. Not on what he has said, but for the queries you have posed. Now, even in the Gulf countries today, you have what we call as the avoidance of double taxation agreements. I am telling you my first-hand information because I was serving as an advisor to one of the governments there. So you have not only avoidance of double taxation agreements, but you have promotion and protection of investment agreements as well. Now, under the double taxation agreement, avoidance of double taxation agreements, what happens is, suppose for example, you do not pay the tax there, but then the money which is being credited here is accountable for tax for all purposes. Now the restrictions are very severe today in the last 3 or 4 years. And even if you transfer money from here beyond a particular limit, you are supposed to pay tax ex source. It will be deducted and sent. So this is how it is being done. So there is no escape after the introduction of GST. And GST is primarily responsible for all these things. So this is the one. And another thing is promotion and protection of investment agreements. Suppose for example you have lots of money. And if you have a lot of money, you are entitled to make an investment anywhere in the world. And provided you have an investment agreement with that country. So the state of India is very keen in signing investment agreements with several countries. So is the Gulf countries. Because you must have read 1 or 2 articles which are appearing the last 3 or 4 months or last 2 years. So Saudi Arabia, although it is oil rich, they know that this business is going to end by another 10 to 15 years. So most of the people are being taken care by the government of Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia will not be in a position to give the kind of subsidies that lending and giving and protecting to its own people. This is a hard fact. That is why even during the time of COVID, we were not able to give the kind of protection which we gave to our citizens. You will be knowing the announcement, first announcement which was made by the finance minister as well as the government. And remember, they said by taking into consideration of a family, 20 kilos of rice will be given to everybody. Anywhere in the world, no government for the 193 members in United Nations, no country has given. The hard fact. It's done. And this is only to protect. And remember, all our resources it was possible because what he said, first the Charakya's word of where there is money, there will be society and state. Without money, you cannot run the state. the accumulated wealth was spent, it was not completely spent, only about 10% or 15% of the wealth that is being spent. Now you can also ask me how it is, what answer you have. See the kind of airports which are being built today. You go to the, what is that, the second one, the newly Bengaluru International Airport is recently inaugurated. In what way it is inferior to the best airports in the world? I have seen the best. No, it is more better, far better than any of the airports in the world. That is what is required for a country like this. You cannot provide the investors to this country unless you provide the basic infrastructure. The basic infrastructure which we have been not able to provide in the last preceding 70 years. And the government decided first and foremost to provide the basic infrastructure. One of the basic infrastructure is to have airports. Remember, up to 2013, we had only 70 airports. Hardly 5 or 6 international airports in this country. Now today it has gone up to 170. And of which you calculate yourself, general knowledge, how many international airports you have in this country today. In Karnataka itself, you have how many international? Bengaluru you have. And the number of passengers which are being traveled. Now you can go to the airport and find out. In the preceding year, how many of them have gone by air? Through Bengaluru Airport or Bengaluru Airport. You will come to know. It is more than 3 crores in international airports. If you go to Delhi, it is still more. That virtually speaks about the movement of the people. Could this be possible earlier? That is where what you were seeing, the youngsters have the vision. And there was nobody to take care of the vision. And the vision has to be converted into vision. That is why we bring people like you. 1 second.